Kim Eun-ji stared at her computer screen, heart racing with a mixture of anger and disbelief. The images she had carefully captured during her last travel expedition across Southeast Asia were now splashed across June Park's massively popular social media channel. Every single photograph, every witty caption, every carefully edited video clip, stolen without a single word of credit. Her fingers traced the screen, counting the millions of likes and thousands of comments praising June's supposed original content. The irony burned deep within her. She had spent weeks planning this trip, saving money from her day job as a junior graphic designer, investing in high-quality camera equipment, and crafting each visual narrative with meticulous attention to detail. June Park, a 28-year-old social media influencer with over 3 million followers, had built his entire online persona on stolen creativity. His sleek profile, perfectly curated images, and charismatic video presentations masked a darker truth, a systematic pattern of content theft from smaller creators. Eun-ji remembered how she had started her travel blog. It wasn't about fame or money. She genuinely loved sharing her experiences, capturing moments that told stories beyond mere visual aesthetics. Each photograph represented hours of waiting for the perfect light, understanding local cultures, and connecting with people in remote locations. Her smartphone buzzed. A message from her best friend, Minho, pulled her back to the present moment. "Have you seen what June did?" The message was accompanied by screenshots of her stolen content. The digital evidence was overwhelming. Side-by-side comparisons showed identical compositions, identical editing styles, and even matching grammatical structures in the captions. This wasn't just a coincidence. This was calculated theft. Eun-ji knew she had options. She could remain silent, accept the violation, and watch her hard work generate revenue for someone else. Or she could fight back. Her background in design and her brother's legal education gave her an advantage. Over the next few weeks, she meticulously gathered evidence. Timestamp comparisons, original file metadata, cloud storage records. She compiled a comprehensive documentation of June's intellectual property theft. Social media platforms had complex reporting mechanisms, but Eun-ji understood their algorithms. She didn't just file a simple complaint. She created a multimedia presentation that would be impossible to ignore. The first strike came when her documentation was shared by several small content creator communities. Screenshots went viral. Discussions about content authenticity and creator rights exploded across various online forums. June's initial response was typical of influencers caught in such situations: denial and aggressive counterclaims. He accused Eun-ji of trying to damage his reputation, suggesting her claims were baseless attempts to gain publicity. But Eun-ji had prepared for this. She had backup: screenshots, original files, dated documents, a digital trail that told a clear story of systematic content theft. Her brother, a young lawyer specializing in digital intellectual property, saw an opportunity to make a significant legal statement. This wasn't just about one photographer's stolen content. This was about establishing precedent in the rapidly evolving digital content landscape. As weeks passed, the case gained momentum. Tech blogs started covering the story. Other small creators who had been silent about their own experiences began sharing similar stories of theft and exploitation. June's sponsorship deals started to wobble. Brands that had once celebrated his massive following now looked at him with suspicion. His carefully constructed online persona was crumbling, one screenshot at a time. Eun-ji wasn't seeking revenge. She wanted accountability. She wanted recognition for creators who invested passion, time, and personal resources into their work. Little did she know that her fight was about to attract attention far beyond the realm of social media. Attention that would change everything she understood about creativity, ownership, and human potential. The stage was set. The battle for digital integrity had just begun. As the social media storm continued to brew, Eun-ji's day job at a small tech research firm took an unexpected turn. She worked as a junior graphic designer, But her true passion lay in complex digital systems and hidden patterns. During a late-night research project, she discovered something unusual embedded within her stolen photographs. Tiny digital markers, almost invisible to the naked eye, were hidden in the metadata of her images. These weren't ordinary watermarks or copyright tags. They were intricate code sequences that seemed to follow a complex mathematical pattern. Her colleague, Park Sung-ho, noticed her intense concentration. "What are you working on?" he asked, peering over her shoulder. Yeon-ji explained her discovery, showing him the subtle variations in pixel data that didn't match standard compression algorithms. Sung-ho was intrigued. As a senior network security specialist, he recognized something extraordinary. The code fragments seemed to be more than just random data. They appeared to be a sophisticated communication method, carefully disguised within visual information. Days of secret research followed. Yeon-ji and Sung-ho worked overtime, using the company's advanced computational resources to decrypt the hidden messages. They discovered the code was adaptive, changing its encryption method each time it was analyzed. What started as a personal project of documenting content theft was transforming into something far more complex. The digital markers seemed to have an intelligence of their own, almost as if they were designed to be discovered, but only by someone with specific technical skills. Their breakthrough came on a rainy Wednesday evening. While most of the office had gone home, Yeon-ji noticed a strange signal pattern emerging from the code. It wasn't human-generated. The mathematical precision, the way the encryption shifted, suggested something beyond terrestrial technology. Sung-ho brought in specialized decryption tools typically used for advanced cryptographic research. Each attempt revealed more complexity. The code seemed to be a message. But from where? And to whom? As they dug deeper, strange readings began appearing on their monitoring systems. Network traces showed impossible data routes, signals that seemed to originate from nowhere and everywhere simultaneously. The research firm's standard protocols required reporting unusual findings, but something made Yeon-ji hesitate. This discovery felt personal, connected to her original photographs and the content theft case. Her brother, the lawyer, thought she was becoming paranoid. "It's just complicated code," he said during a late-night phone call. "Maybe someone's playing an elaborate prank." But Yeon-ji knew this was different. The mathematical precision, the adaptive nature of the code, it suggested intelligence far beyond human programming capabilities. Sung-ho began creating complex simulation models to track the code's origin. Each attempt revealed more questions than answers. The digital markers seemed to be waiting, like a complex puzzle designed to be solved by someone with specific skills. Their research department started showing interest. Unofficial meetings happened in quiet corners of the office. Whispered conversations about potential breakthrough technologies became more frequent. What Yeon-ji didn't realize was that her fight against a social media influencer was about to become something much larger. The hidden code in her photographs was a message, an invitation from something or someone far beyond Earth's understanding. The digital breadcrumbs were deliberate. Someone, or something, wanted to be discovered. And Yeon-ji had just found the first clue. As dawn broke, casting soft light into the research lab, Yeon-ji and Sung-ho exchanged a look of both excitement and profound uncertainty. Their discovery was about to change everything they knew about communication, technology, and humanity's place in the universe. The unexpected journey was just beginning. The first signal came quietly, almost unnoticed by the global communication networks. A soft pulse of data that would have been dismissed as electronic noise by most monitoring systems. But in the small research lab where Yeon-ji worked, something extraordinary was happening. Their specialized equipment began to vibrate slightly. Computer screens flickered with patterns that didn't match any known terrestrial communication protocol. Sung-ho watched in silent amazement as complex mathematical sequences danced across multiple monitors. At precisely 3:47 a.m., a transmission arrived. Not through traditional communication channels, but embedded within the digital markers Eunjae had discovered in her original photographs. The code unfolded like a living language, revealing intricate patterns that seemed to breathe with intelligence. The Viridian Collective, a name that appeared simultaneously on multiple screens, was making first contact. Not through massive spacecraft or dramatic broadcasts, but through the very digital fingerprints hidden in Eunji's stolen content. Their initial communication was surprisingly straightforward. They were interested in humanity's approach to information sharing, intellectual property, and creative expression. The content theft case between Eunji and Joon Park had become an unexpected diplomatic channel. Government agencies were notified, but they moved slowly. Bureaucracy couldn't match the speed of interstellar communication. The Viridian Collective was patient, waiting for humanity to catch up to their mode of interaction. Eunji discovered that the hidden code in her photographs was actually a sophisticated communication protocol. Each pixel contained layers of information, cultural data, mathematical concepts, and something that resembled a galactic legal framework for intellectual property. Sung Ho worked frantically to translate. The Viridian Collective saw content creation as a form of advanced communication, almost like a living language. Stealing someone's creative work wasn't just unethical, it was a fundamental violation of their understanding of universal intelligence. Their interest wasn't punitive. They were curious. Humanity's complex relationship with creativity, the ability to remix, adapt, and transform ideas, fascinated them. Joon Park's content theft wasn't seen as a crime, but as a curious cultural phenomenon. International research teams were brought in. Linguists, mathematicians, digital experts, all trying to understand the unprecedented communication. The Viridian Collective waited, observing humanity's response with what seemed like patient curiosity. Eunji found herself at the center of something much larger than her original lawsuit. Her photographs, her stolen content, had become a bridge between humanity and an advanced galactic civilization. The first physical evidence came unexpectedly. A small device appeared in the research lab, not transported, but seemingly materialized, containing vast amounts of information. It looked like a perfect geometric crystal, shifting colors in ways that defied human understanding. Government officials wanted to control the information. Military experts saw potential threats, but the Viridian Collective made it clear they were observers, not conquerors. Their interest was purely academic, focused on understanding humanity's unique creative potential. Joon Park, the influencer who had stolen Eunji's content, became an unexpected point of interest. The Viridian Collective saw his actions as a complex social behavior, a form of adaptive creativity that intrigued them. News networks struggled to report the event. How do you explain first contact that happened through a social media content theft case? The story seemed too bizarre to be true. Eunji understood something the others didn't. This wasn't just about communication. This was an invitation, an opportunity for humanity to prove its worth on a galactic stage. As days passed, more information arrived. Mathematical equations that suggested technologies beyond human imagination. Cultural insights that challenged everything humans understood about creativity and intelligence. The small research lab became ground zero for the most significant moment in human history. A first contact scenario triggered by a simple act of digital content theft. The universe, it seemed, had a sense of irony. The Viridian Collective's galactic tribunal was unlike anything humans had ever imagined. It wasn't a courtroom with rigid structures, but a fluid space where information, creativity, and understanding merged seamlessly. Eunji sat at the center, surrounded by translucent beings that seemed to shift between solid and liquid states. Her stolen photographs, once a source of personal frustration, now represented something more significant: humanity's unexpected creative potential. The tribunal examined every pixel of her work. Each image wasn't just a visual representation, but a complex narrative of human experience. They studied how she captured light, composed scenes, and told stories through visual language. June Park, the influencer who had stolen her content, was also present. But instead of being treated as a criminal, he became a subject of intense scientific curiosity. The Viridian researchers were fascinated by his ability to adapt, remix, and transform existing content. Humans do not simply copy. One of the collective members communicated through a sophisticated translation device. They reimagine. They evolve. The tribunal revealed that most galactic civilizations followed strict, predictable creative patterns. Humanity's approach was chaotic, unpredictable, and breathtakingly innovative. What other species saw as content theft, they recognized as a unique form of cultural evolution. Yunji's background in graphic design became crucial. She explained how human creativity worked, how artists, designers, and creators constantly borrowed, transformed, and reinterpreted existing ideas. This wasn't just copying, it was a complex dance of innovation. The Viridian Collective presented their findings. Humanity's digital ecosystem, with its constant flow of information, rapid content creation, and adaptive communication, represented a form of intelligence they had never encountered. Sun Ho, her colleague, demonstrated how quickly humans could develop new technologies, create complex narratives, and solve problems through collaborative creativity. Each example was met with what seemed like collective amazement from the alien researchers. They were particularly impressed by internet meme culture, open-source software development, and the way humans could turn limited resources into extraordinary creative solutions. What seemed like chaos to other civilizations was, for humans, a sophisticated communication method. The tribunal's decision wasn't about punishment. It was an invitation. Humanity was being offered a unique position in the Galactic Creative Exchange Program, a platform where different civilizations could share and learn from each other's innovative approaches. June Park, surprisingly, became a key figure. His ability to rapidly adapt and redistribute content was reframed not as theft, but as a complex social communication strategy. The Viridian Collective saw potential where humans saw controversy. Yunji realized this was more than a personal victory. This was a moment that could redefine humanity's understanding of itself. Her fight over stolen social media content had become a diplomatic breakthrough. Research institutions worldwide began preparing. The potential technological and cultural exchanges promised advances beyond current human imagination. Universities created new departments focused on understanding galactic creative protocols. The tribunal's final assessment was both a celebration and a challenge. Humanity wasn't just invited to participate in galactic society. They were recognized as a uniquely powerful creative force. Your species does not just create, the lead researcher communicated. You reimagine entire paradigms of understanding. Global media struggled to comprehend the full implications. A simple content theft case had opened humanity's door to a vast, interconnected galactic community that valued creativity above all other metrics of intelligence. Yunji looked at her original photographs, the very images that had started this extraordinary journey. They were no longer just pictures. They were a bridge between worlds, a testament to human potential. As the tribunal concluded, something fundamental had changed. Humanity was no longer just an emerging technological civilization. They were now recognized as a creative powerhouse with the potential to transform galactic understanding. The universe had been waiting for humanity, and humanity was finally ready to answer the call. 5 years after the initial contact, the world looked dramatically different. Yunji stood on the observation deck of the Global Creative Exchange Center, watching as young students from around the world prepared for their first interstellar communication workshops. June Park, once a disgraced social media influencer, now served as humanity's primary cultural ambassador. His ability to adapt and transform had become a celebrated skill rather than a point of criticism. The Viridian Collective had recognized something unique in his approach to content and communication. The diplomatic resolution had transformed everything. What began as a simple lawsuit over stolen social media content had become humanity's unexpected entry point into a broader galactic community. Universities worldwide now offered new degrees in interstellar creative communication, a field that didn't exist just half a decade ago. Eunji's original photographs, the very images that had started this extraordinary journey, were now displayed in the Galactic Cultural Museum. They represented more than just visual art. They were a testament to human creativity and potential. The Viridian Collective had been particularly impressed by humanity's adaptive nature. Where other civilizations saw rigid boundaries, humans saw opportunities for reimagination. Content creation was no longer viewed as theft, but as a complex form of cultural dialogue. Sung Ho, her former colleague, now led a research team developing communication technologies that bridged human and alien understanding. Their work focused on creating translation systems that could capture the nuanced creativity of different species. Global governments had restructured. Traditional diplomatic channels were replaced with creative exchange programs. Countries were now evaluated not by military might, but by their capacity for innovative thinking and cultural adaptability. The first human-alien collaborative projects began emerging. Artists, programmers, scientists, and creators from different worlds worked together, breaking down barriers that once seemed impossible to cross. Each collaboration revealed new layers of understanding. June Park's transformation was perhaps the most remarkable. He had become a living example of humanity's potential for growth and redemption. His lectures on adaptive communication were studied across multiple planetary systems. Eunji reflected on the journey. A simple act of documenting her travel experiences, followed by the theft of her content, had opened doors to possibilities nobody could have imagined. The universe, it seemed, worked in mysterious ways. The Viridian Collective continued to be fascinated by human creativity. They discovered that humanity's greatest strength wasn't technological advancement, but its ability to see potential where others saw limitations. Educational systems worldwide had been completely redesigned. Creativity was now the most valued skill, replacing traditional metrics of success. Schools taught students how to think dynamically, how to reimagine and transform ideas. Young people dreamed of becoming interstellar creative ambassadors. The career paths that once seemed impossible were now exciting realities. Children played games that simulated cross-cultural and cross-species communication. Technological advancements came rapidly. The collaborative spirit between humans and the Viridian Collective produced innovations that solved complex global challenges. Climate restoration, energy production, medical breakthroughs, all emerged from this new way of thinking. Eunji's original lawsuit against June Park was now a footnote in history, a small moment that had triggered a massive transformation in human understanding. What once seemed like a personal violation had become a global opportunity. As the sun set, casting golden light across the Global Creative Exchange Center, Eunji smiled. The world had changed, not through conflict or competition, but through the simple power of creativity and understanding. The horizon looked different now, brighter, more expansive, filled with possibilities that no one could have imagined just a few years earlier. Humanity had found its place in the universe, not as conquerors or followers, but as creative partners in an extraordinary galactic conversation.